So the past 48 hours in the Call of Duty community have been pretty wild, to say the least. Yesterday, at the time you're recording this, they just randomly decided to drop the Season 1 Reloaded roadmap, which I'll throw up on the screen right now. Honestly, looks pretty fire. We're getting Hacienda, we're getting a new strike map, we're getting like a festive Nuketown. There's a bunch of other stuff on there if you're interested. Obviously, read through that. I figured I'd pop it up on the screen real quick for anyone who cares. So, yeah, obviously look through that. There's a lot of cool shit in there, so check it out. But there's two things that made me come out here and make this video. The first one is, over the past couple days, all over Twitter, skill-based damage is at its peak of people arguing about whether or not it's real, okay? And let me explain what it is before I tell you, like, whether or not I think it's real. And spoiler alert, it is very real. Basically, what it is if you are someone who is better at the game, who has good stats, the time to kill is very inconsistent, and sometimes your guns will do less damage to let a shittier player kill you. And it works the same way vice versa. So a player with shittier stats will sometimes kill you in like 1 or 2 shots. Meanwhile, you're using the same gun and it's doing the same amount of damage, and yet they're not dying. So that's the best way I can simply explain it to you. And me, myself, as you're seeing in this gameplay, as someone who 2-boxes very consistently and plays against shitty players, I can tell you 100% that it is a real thing. Skill-based damage exists, and if you are saying that it does not exist, it's because you don't experience it and your stats are not good enough, okay? And I'm not saying that it's not okay to not be good at the game, but just don't speak on something you can't experience yourself. Just because you're not experiencing it doesn't mean that it's not a real thing. So now that we're clear about what skill-based damage is, we can talk about this god-awful tweet that Call of Duty put out basically addressing skill-based damage, okay? We're going to talk about this because they legitimately have to think that we're retarded to actually believe this tweet. All right, so here's the tweet on your screen right now. This is from the official Call of Duty Updates Twitter. They're affiliated with Activision and Call of Duty, for anyone wondering, and they're verified on Twitter. You can see the check mark. So they said that we've officially identified an issue that could result in erroneous visual blood effects when damage was not actually dealt while shooting at enemies in all modes. So basically what they're saying with this tweet is they're clapping back at everyone who's talking about skill-based damage and saying, it's not real, you're missing all your shots. And when you don't think that you're missing your shots and you shoot someone and blood comes out of them, it's just a skill issue. It's a bug. There's not supposed to be any blood coming out. So let me ask you this, Activision. Let's use all 10 of our brain cells here. Why would blood be coming out if I'm not shooting them? That doesn't make any sense if you use even 3 of the brain cells in your head. But let's go even a step further in case you're actually dumb enough to believe this tweet at face value, which I think is even bad enough. But let's break it down further. Okay, you can also see on your screen right now that this tweet actually got community noted. And if you don't know what that means if you don't use Twitter, basically, if you lie on Twitter or spread misinformation, they have a great feature where something can be what's known as community noted, which basically flags it as misinformation, and a Twitter employee can go on there and put a little note underneath it addressing the misinformation and saying what's a lie. So the community note here says there's a hit registration issue in Warzone on the client side. It's displayed that shots hits enemies. That's terrible grammar. Shots hits enemies, showing the visual effect of blood, but servers don't register them as valid hits. Therefore, the error lies in the unregistered hit and not on the visual blood effect. So basically, what they're saying there is that the servers are complete dog shit, and when you're shooting the person, the blood is coming out because on your screen, they're shooting them, but there's so many packet bursts and latency jumps and all the shit that's in the Call of Duty servers that it doesn't register as a hit. And Call of Duty is just lying on Twitter and saying, oh, the blood is a bug. The blood is not a bug. The servers are just so terrible that when you go on there and you shoot someone and the blood comes out, it's happening on your screen, but not the actual Call of Duty servers or the other person's screen because the servers are so bad. And in case you need any more proof even than the community note or that the tweet is bullshit, there's a video of someone perfectly hitting all of their shots, the blood is flying everywhere, and it proves that it is a server-side issue and not the game having a bug. So let's watch this video together. So as you can see in this video, the guy comes outside, he is clearly hitting this guy dead on. And only when he hits him dead on is when the blood particles start flying everywhere. You'll see later, when he actually misses the shots in these clips, there are no blood particles. So this 110% proves that Activision, Call of Duty, whoever you want to blame, is completely lying on Twitter. The blood particles are not a bug. This happens when there is latency issues, server issues, whatever. Okay? The guy you can see in the video is 100% clearly hitting these shots. The blood is splattering everywhere. And yet Call of Duty is going to go on Twitter and claim that, oh, it's just a bug. The blood shouldn't be spattering everywhere. Like, blah, blah, blah. You have to be mentally retarded in some fashion to actually believe that tweet after what you've seen in this video. So after watching that video, you might be wondering to yourself, text that 100% proves that Call of Duty was lying in their tweet, that the blood particles aren't a bug, and then it's actually people taking damage. It's just a server issue, right? That's 100% proven. But you might be wondering to yourself, how can you still 100% say that skill-based damage exists when it could just be lag spikes on either your side or your opponent's side, okay? And this is going to be a little difficult for me to explain here, so, try to bear with me. The simplest way that I can put this is I think that Call of Duty, it's actually coded into the game that during some gunfights, when I'm going against somebody who has way worse stats than me, I think that the game, it's either 50-50, very occasionally, like maybe 1 out of 50 times, where we're playing the game and either I or the person I'm shooting will get a packet burst or a latency variation, something along those lines, okay? And when that happens, when I shoot the person, it does not register on the server or to them that I shot them, but on my screen, I feel like I shot them 20 times, and I did actually shoot them 20 times because I'm seeing the particles. But on their screen and on the server side, they're actually not taking any damage. So technically, it's not skill-based damage, it's more like skill-based packet burst. And I find it interesting because there was someone in my comments on my last Call of Duty video asking me if I thought skill-based packet burst and latency variation was a real thing. And I started questioning it. But now that we have all of this information, I actually think it's a real thing. So shout out to that guy, whoever said that in the comments on the last video, right? But that's basically my theory here. I think it's actually coded into the game to either make me or the opponent lag maybe 1 out of 50 times so that either I can't shoot them and I get a bullshit kill, or they can't shoot me and they get a bullshit kill or death, right? That is basically the best way that I can explain this. So yeah, man, that's pretty much my theory on skill-based damage, and the absolute bullshit tweet that Call of Duty put up, we cannot let them get away with that. They're getting ratioed to hell on Twitter for that. I saw Milo, Raffle Waffles, the fucking go to the zombies community, was in there saying it was bullshit. They're trying to gaslight us. Another Call of Duty account was down there. It's like a fan-made account. It was like Modern Warzone, I think, was down there talking shit. So, yeah, we need to ratio them further. So please go check out that tweet and go in the comments and call them a dumbass and say we're not stupid so we can ratio them. Because that's just such a terrible tweet. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We can't let them get away with lying about this. We're not that stupid. We got to show them that. So if you boys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub for me. I appreciate you watching the video to the end. Thank you to all my members. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Daily upload text is coming back, and I appreciate all the support for real. So thank you guys. I'll be back.